I'd like to take a moment to thank my channel members. Thank you. It's continued support like yours that keeps this channel growing. And if you haven't already, please consider joining today. Hello and welcome, I'm Bert the Stormtrooper, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Beast Wars Transmetals Rampage, and I love this toy. Originally released in 1998, this was an Ultra class figure, which I think is the modern equivalent of a Leader class, but it originally retailed for approximately $15. Can you imagine a day when you can get a figure this massive for $15? Man, I miss those days. So Rampage here is another one of the figures that I recently acquired at TFCon in Orlando, and big shout out to my buddy Rodimus Primal, who was the previous owner of this figure. That's who I got him from during his big fire sale that he had Saturday night at the lobby. I grabbed this guy from him, in very nice condition because he was the original owner and he took very good care of it. So Rodimus Primal, thank you again for the awesome figure, and he is in a very loved home. So Rampage here, as you can see, he's a Transmetals figure, so he's going to have three modes. He's got the beast mode here, which is obviously a crab. He's going to have an intermediate mode of a tank-ish. We'll get to that. And of course a robot mode. So he's got that intermediate mode, but you can see here in the beast mode, he is a kind of a metallic crab right here, and he's got all of this nice shiny vac metal right there. It looks absolutely awesome. It has held up with time really, really well. This thing is absolutely massive and beautiful. So the way I got him here, he's approximately 13 inches long. You could extend these out and make them just a little, just at about 14 maybe. It just depends on how you pose them, but you can make them shorter, you know, if you bring these in and whatnot. So it's completely up to you. He's got a lot of articulation for being a crab. Now, unfortunately, you know, with the legs being on ball joints, these tend to wear out over time. So if you try to use just the legs to hold them, these claws here are so heavy that he's just going to kind of lean forward, as you see there. What I was doing here in the intro shot is I like to bring his front legs right there, right below his claws, and that kind of helps to hold him up. And he looks pretty neat right there. So articulation-wise, yeah, we've got ball joints back here on the legs. Then the middle and front legs have ball joints at the base and at the middle point right there. I guess we'll call that the knee. I don't know. You can go in here. We'll move the claws out of the way here. And check out the head sculpt right there. Very, very cool. The antenna right here, these are on ball joints, so you can move these all over the place. You can see the little eyes right in there in green. And the little mandibles here can open and close. Check that out. So you can open and close the little mandibles right there. And he's got this little bottom jaw piece right there. And that also moves up and down. So you can actually open all of that up like that. Or you can close it up. So you can see the face a little better. Completely up to you. Then the claws here have all kinds of articulation as well. Here at the base you can rotate. And then you've got a ratchet to move in and out. There's another ratchet right here on this middle point. This joint right here can also move in and out, and then it can also rotate like so. The claws right here can also rotate. These bottom piece of the claw here, this can open at the base here. It can also move in the middle point right there. And then the claw piece here, the bigger part of the claw, can also move side to side and rotate individually from the bottom part of the claw. That's going to come into play here when we transform him into his intermediate mode. As you saw right there, he does come with several weapons which can be stored in his claws. We're going to go ahead and remove those now because, as you saw, they are going to fall when we try to transform them. So we've got, right here on this claw, we've got 2 missiles. We'll set those off to the side. Over here on this side, we have another missile. So he does come with a total of 3 right there. And then we've also got this little kind of a rifle right there. And we'll set him down. Got a little rifle right there as well. All of these can be stored in those claws, you know, and it works very well when he is in, well, actually, it works very well when he's in any mode, to be honest, except when you're transforming him. Just take him off. He's got another weapon down here. We're going to see that in a moment. He's got like this, this Gatling gun right here. It doesn't work that great just because of the way it is designed, but it's down there, and you'll see that in a moment. Couple of comparisons. Let's see if we can do this. These guys, this is going to get big here. Compared with some of the other Beast Wars figures that I got at TFCon, here he is with Polar Claw. Love this figure, very popular. A lot of people seem to love this on that video. Got a lot of good feedback on this guy. So there he is with Polar Claw. Here is Quick Strike. So these are the Beast Wars figures that I got at TFCon. So you can see what they all look like together. And then we'll go ahead and set these guys off to the side, and we'll bring in his Nemesis Depth Charge. So these guys are absolutely massive. But there you go. So you can see what the two of them look like together. Now, I've never done a review on Depth Charge. I got Depth Charge a little while ago, relatively recently, actually. I've had him for less than a year. And I can see now that he's mistransformed. But I never did a review on him because he was incomplete. He was missing his tail. I 3D printed the tail, and then I just I didn't know if I wanted to make a review on him being technically incomplete. I mean, the tail came out really, really good, but it is a 3D printed tail. I'm happy with it, but that's just why I never really made a review on him. But there you go, so you can see what the two of them look like together. Transforming Monsieur Rampage here is interesting, to say the least. And we'll see if I can get it all. These tend to get a little confusing sometimes, so we'll see if I get it right the first time. So we'll start here with the back leg. We're going to bring this all the way back like that and then rotate it around. There's a little port right there. There's a peg on the middle leg, so these are just going to peg into each other. And they're really mostly just to kind of show you where they go. They don't really peg in securely or anything like that. And then this leg's going to come up and just kind of tuck away like that. So we'll do that over here as well. So we'll turn this around and bring it flat. Peg these two legs in together until they decide to unpeg themselves from each other. They're already doing it. And then we'll tack that one in like so. This gets crazy right here. We'll do that later. All right, so if I remember correctly, this one comes straight down like so. We're going to take the middle joint, bring it up. Actually, I like to bring it out back this way and then rotate it. Am I doing it right? No? I'm already doing it wrong. I'm already doing it wrong. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to rotate that way. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to keep the color pieces out so they actually show versus not showing them, if that makes any sense, right? Instead of showing like screw pieces like that. So we're going to rotate this here, let me rotate that back around because, again, I want the color piece showing up, not down. Take the smaller piece of the claw. We're going to rotate this over to the front. Kind of move that over for the time being. And then, again, I'm trying to point my screw back right here. This joint right here, we're going to bring this up. And then we're also going to rotate. There's another joint in there, and we're going to rotate so that we can bring this piece flat down on this piece right here. So we're gonna, and then if we need to move the small claw out of the way, we can do that there. There we go. So we're gonna bring that all the way down like that, and then finish rotating this all the way back. What we're gonna want to do here is there are two pegs. There's a peg there and a peg there, and we want to get these into these ports there and there. So as we go ahead and pull the thread out, or the tread out. See how the legs come unpegged? And then we're going to work this in here and get it pegged into place like so. And then this piece right here is going to fold up, and this is going to become a bit of a bumper of sorts. Now we're going to take our tread right here, and we have wheels here, 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 and here. There are little teeth inside of the center part of the tread. So we're just going to line those up with the wheels right there. There's one side done. So we're going to do the same thing over here. Get these legs out of the way. Move this down, straighten that out, and we're going to move this forward. I want that piece showing up, and then I'm going to rotate my big claw, bring it up, and rotate it, get it flat against that joint right there. Get my tread out of there, and again we're going to just work it in here and peg it into place. Right there. Take my tread right here and put it over my wheels. And as you can see, the legs already came unpegged again. And then straighten out that bumper right there. Finally, we're going to reach down here to the bottom, and then where the little jaw piece is, this, we're going to rotate this up and over, and you'll notice that is a Gatling gun. We're going to bring in our missiles from earlier, and we're going to load those in there. And here we have Monsieur Rampage in his intermediate vehicle mode. It's a sort of it's a crab tank. Yeah, it's a crab tank. It's ridiculous, and I freaking love it. Look at this thing. So it does roll, and I don't know where that went. This thing, the opposite happened. This thing never works, and I got it in front of the camera, and it actually worked. So what's happening here, the treads actually roll along those wheels, as you can see, which is really, really neat. But then also there's a wheel here, and as this turns, this is going to turn the Gatling gun, and it's actually going to make it fire as it rotates around, like that. So it's pretty cool. As this rolls, the Gatling gun rotates, as you can see, and as it does so, it will actually shoot the missiles, which is really, really neat. Really more for demonstration purposes. I am not going to leave them on because I do not want to lose them. But there you go. So you can see, yeah, he rolls. Look at that. Is the first time that's actually worked that well for me. Look at that. That's really, really neat. It's a ridiculous tank, and I absolutely love it in every way. So there you go. That's the intermediate tank mode for Monsieur Rampage. So now to get this guy into robot mode, you can go ahead, and you don't have to do this, but it's best if you do it now. Just go ahead and pull the Gatling gun. You can see what that looks like, and then we can just turn that. How does it go? I think it's like that. It just kind of goes like that. There you go. And again, you can load up the missiles back on it, and this will be one of his weapons for the robot mode. So you've got that. You can see the little peg here on the side, so he'll be able to hold it there. So you've got, this is one of his weapons, and then that'll be the other one of his weapons. So we'll set those off to the side, and we'll get the tank treads off of here, unpeg the big claws here, straighten these out, and then we'll go ahead and take those tank treads and tuck them back in there. And I'm surprised at how well these, being rubber pieces, have actually held up over the years. It's very, very impressive. Usually, I mean, I have toys that are not as old as this guy. I'm looking at you, RID Optimus Prime, and really any RID figures that have rubber wheels, and they have pretty much just disintegrated over the years. So anyway, what I'm doing here is I'm pretty much just bringing the claws back to claw configuration, like so. And I'm going to straighten these out, and we're going to rotate them, and we're just going to bend them at a 90 right here. Actually, I want to do it this way. I want my two brown pieces straight, and then I want to turn them at the silver piece. And I'm just going to bend it at a 90 over the crab body, just like that. So that's what we're doing here. So we'll get this all straightened out. There's a lot of joints here. It's relatively simple. Once you learn it, it's relatively simple, but the first couple of times doing it gets a little confusing when you're trying to do it from memory. There you go. So we just want the claws at a 90 like that, up and over the crab body. That's pretty much all we're going to do there. We're going to take the legs right here. These are the robot legs, and we can bring this whole thing down, and the hips are also going to rotate around like so. Straighten out the legs and open up the feet. And again, for being a figure as old as it is, the joints are still pretty tight, which is really nice. Okay, on the crab body, move the legs out of the way here. Where the, I love that rampage right there. So this side of the crab right here, on both sides, this is kind of clipped in. You can see the little brown pieces right there. So that's clipped in there. So we want to unclip that from there. And then also, it's hard to see because of the legs, but the arms are also pegged in, and I'll try to bring that there. So you can see right there, there's a peg on the arm that was pegged into that port right there. So we open that up, and this is going to be kind of a shoulder pad, and we can straighten out the arm right there. The arm is also pegged in. That port and that peg right there, those were pegged in together. So again, if we just unclip that side piece right there and just bring it out a little bit, move the crab legs out of the way here. And then unpeg the arm from that side piece right there and bring that up. And then you can bring the arm down as well. All right, the next part, you got to be careful here because you don't want to break anything. Bring the robot head and just kind of bring it out at a 90 like this. Bring the arms forward as well. This is going to help you rotate things around. So now we're going to take this whole, you see this gray piece here and that red piece behind it where the head is mounted to? We're going to rotate this entire thing around. That's why we rotated the arm. So when you get about halfway, bring the arms up again. You just kind of keep working all of that together. And we're going to get about a little further than where we are now and then carefully push the head through to get it up to the top. There is just enough room to get the head through. So you want to be careful because you don't want to get those little side horn pieces that are stuck. And you just kind of got to work that through there. So I'm super scared of breaking the little ear horn pieces on the head. So you just want to be careful with that. There we go. Reach in there, bring it all the way out. So that's going to close up right there. Crab antenna, rotate these around like so. And now really all we got to do is move the crab legs around to a configuration that you're happy with to move all of that kibble, kind of, you know, just kibble management really at this point. You know, that's really all we're doing. So I like to kind of turn them back that way and just kind of point them towards his back, if you will, like so. Really just kibble management at this point. There's really no right or wrong way of doing this part. It's whatever you decide you want to do. He does get top heavy. The cannon, that big Gatling gun, is going to help with that. So let me just kind of work on getting him straightened out here and getting the camera moved because he does get big. He's an ultra class figure, so he is a really, is that going to hold? I'm just going to put him back against the wall. How about that? Just do that. And we'll zoom in on him a little bit. But here we go. There is Monsieur Rampage in his robot mode, which stands approximately 7 inches at the head, 8 if you go up here to these joints right here. And he's really cool. He was such a cool character. Him and Depth Charge did not get enough screen time in the show, if you ask me. They were very, very cool characters, just lifelong, ages long, eons long rivalry between those two. But just kind of going all the way around. It is an early figure from the 90s with Beast Wars, so there's going to be kibble on him. There's just nothing we're going to be able to do about that. But I think the claws tuck into his back pretty well. That's not bad. And I don't mind the little leg pieces up here. The crab legs on the arm really are what bother me the most because it just kind of makes them difficult to pose. But really, other than that, not bad. Ball joint at the head. Ball joint at the shoulder, rotation and hinge at the elbow, ball joint at the hip, hinge at the knee, hinge at the ankle and the heels. Again, good range of articulation, but unfortunately, because he can be back heavy. Hey, I got him standing. Look at that. He is back heavy. And because of mostly the kibble on the arms, it does make him a bit difficult to pose, but we can give him his weapon. So again, we can give him his Gatling gun right there, and we can give him his handgun on the other. And there we have Monsieur Rampage all ready for his battle with Depth Charge. But before we do that, come on back. Please stand for me. Please stand for me, Mr. Rampage. I haven't had my coffee yet. Can you tell? All right, come on, buddy. Stand for me. Please, pretty please. Leaning back against the wall. Yeah, that's how we're going to do this. Here for comparison, again, with the other Beast Wars figures that I picked up at TFCon. Here he is with Polar Claw, and here he is with Quick Strike. These are all the Beast Wars figures that I picked up at TFCon. Very, very cool pickups. I've been after him forever. I've been after him for years, especially after I got Depth Charge. And I saw him in Rubber Chicken. So when I saw him, I had to get him. So very, very cool Beast Wars pickups here from TFCon. We'll move these guys off to the side, and I'm just dropping crap everywhere. One more time. Actually, we haven't done this guy just because I haven't had my coffee yet. Here is Optimus Prime. G1 Optimus Prime. So you can see what the two of them look like together. And again, yeah, pretty good size figure right there. Finally, because their battle is ageless, here he is with his nemesis, Depth Charge. So you can see what the two of them look like together, and how cool do these figures look together. I mean, this is how this was meant. If you get one, you gotta have the other, especially if you've watched the show, because these guys are just mortal enemies, and their battle will be one for eternity. It's just cool to have them together. Very cool characters that did not get enough screen time, and they just belong together up on the shelf just like this. They just look so cool together. So yeah, there it is. Beast Wars Transmetals Rampage, MacLeod Rampage here. This is a bit of a niche figure. If you're in the Beast Wars like myself, and I am in the Beast Wars, this is a must-have, especially getting them both together. Him and Depth Charge, you got to get them both together. For the casual Beast Wars observer, maybe not so much, but it is a really, it's going to have some downsides to it, right? Because of the kibble on the arms. As you can see, he can be back heavy. I'm having a bit of a hard time getting him to stand straight. Right now, he's leaning up against my wall. So it can be fiddly for somebody that's not expecting something like this. But if you're in the Beast Wars, this guy's a must-have. Him and Depth Charge together especially. Very, very cool figure. And I think that about does it for the Transformers Beast Wars Transmetals Ultra Class Rampage, or as I like to call him, MacLeod Rampage. What did you think of this figure? Let me know down in the comments. Give me some thumbs up. Subscribe, share with your friends if you like what you see. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.